I'm Roberta, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make dal palak. Now for our month of Indian, it's a side dish for our menu number one, but it's really something that I love as a main course, just with some steamed rice and yogurt. We start with some red lentils. Now you can make dal from any split peas, lentils, legumes. I like these red ones because they don't require soaking. So we have our lentils, some beautiful turmeric, a good dose of salt. I'm actually going to measure it this time. So a teaspoon of salt, because salt is life and fundamental to all Indian cuisine, and a cup of water. So that's going onto the stove. We'll bring it to the boil and then we'll turn it down and just let it simmer for 15 minutes while we get everything else ready. Oh, that turmeric smells fabulous. It's not just about colour, you know, it's got a fabulous aroma and flavour too. So while our lentils are starting to cook, we're going to get a few other flavourings happening. I've got a finely chopped small red onion here, which I'm going to fry off until it just starts to colour. So let's get that on and then we'll come back and talk about the rest. So our lentils are simmering away, our onions frying away, and we just need to get a couple more things ready. We have some garlic, and remember you can crush that early in the morning, the same as you do with your grated ginger. Toss them with a little oil and then you've got them on hand, because you are going to use garlic and ginger in just about everything. Chilies, I think we're better preparing fresh, and I've got a medium-sized green chili here, and I'm just going to use a small spoon to scrape out the seeds. You could leave the seeds in there, but it's the seeds and membrane that give it the heat, most of the heat, and I want the chili flavour. Oh, do be careful, it can hit you in the back of the throat. I think these ones are particularly hot. And we're just going to give that a very, pardon me, a very fine slice, and cut that up into a nice little dice. And then the spinach goes in. Now this is called dal palak, and palak means spinach. So you can make dal without spinach, of course. I think this is a nice way to add some greens to our menu of malai kofta and brinjal jeera. Alright, so chop, chop, chop finely as possible so that that's going to go right through the dal. And we'll see how our onion's going, and then we'll stir in our garlic and our chili. Our vicious chili that's hitting me in the back of the throat. So our onions started to get some nice colour. That's what we want, because there's plenty of flavour in that caramelisation. In with our garlic, in with our green chilli, all his bits in there. Stir it around just for 30 seconds or so to cook off that raw garlic flavour. Let it start to caramelise too. As Ajoy would say, until it smells like beautiful garlic bread when you open the oven. And you can see here our lentils are cooking down. They've still got a little way to go. So while that's happening, in with our spinach. Now it's a lot, but it's going to wilt down to virtually nothing. So we'll turn the heat down, we'll pop the spinach in, and then we'll just pop the lid on and leave it for a minute or two to start to wilt, and then we'll give it a stir. Okay, so that's starting to wilt down. We'll give it a good toss around so the wilted ones come up on top and the not so wilted ones go down to the bottom. Cover it for another minute or so. So there's our spinach, just about all wilted down. And our dal's been simmering away there for about 15 minutes. So we'll combine the two. In with the rest of our water. And back onto the lowest heat for about another 10 minutes or so, just until those lentils are nice and tender. And that spinach will continue cooking and breaking down in there. So while our dal's cooking away, there's one more thing we need to talk about, and that's tempering. Tempering is a term that you'll hear quite often in Indian cooking, and it's a little bit of ghee or oil or clarified butter and some spices and often some curry leaves, which I love. Just heated up, fried off quickly, and then flashed over the dish to add some extra flavour and aroma at the end. So today we're tempering with some ghee, some curry leaves, as I said, because I love them and I grow them in my garden. Curry leaf tree is a very, very easy tree to grow, by the way, and then you've got them on hand for all sorts of dishes. And the spices we're tempering with is a spice mix called Panch Phoran, which literally means 5 spices. And if I can remember, it's cumin, nigella, brown mustard, fenugreek, and fennel seeds, usually. Although, like a lot of spice mixes, sometimes I think some of that gets mixed up. So there's a little bit of all the great spices in there. And when our dal's ready, we'll just heat the butter, the ghee, in with the Panch Phoran, in with the curry leaves. It goes splutter, 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 and then over the top. Simple, but delicious. So there's our dal. I think it's just about ready. Let's just see. That's nice and tender. Okay, it doesn't matter that there's still a little bit of liquid left, because we're going to leave that sit now while we finish off the rest of the dishes, and it will soak up the rest of that liquid, and then we will just flash our tempering mixture over the top when it's ready. So the final part of many Indian meals is what we call tempering. Careful, this is going to sputter. In go the seeds, in go the curry leaves. That's the sputtering part. And as soon as those leaves crisp up, the whole thing is going onto our dal. So there we have our dal palak, tempered with Panch Phoran and curry leaves. It'll go beautifully with our malai kofta and our brinjal jeera, but seriously, I've so often just made a lunch out of this with steamed rice and yogurt. It also freezes very well, so you can make a big batch and pop it in the freezer. Enjoy.